So, as a high school graduate with no idea what his next footstep in life should be, I have a few hobbies distracting me from my long-term goals. Playing video games, drawing, writing this video script. While drawing has become my most frequent pastime activity, video games, TV, and movies have almost been phased out of my free time, with video games being a recent outlier. And what else do I do in my free time? I read manga. Manga is basically comic books from Japan with two differences. They're almost strictly monochrome, and are read backwards, much like written Japanese. Since I can't do anything else other than draw and read, I thought it'd be fun to give my thoughts and a summary on what I'm currently reading. Alright, what should I start with? Okay, here's my most recent one. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure really doesn't need an introduction. I've known about this series for quite a while thanks to watching the first episode with a couple of friends years ago. I never made time to watch it again after that, but then my art style shifted significantly from how I was drawing at the time. So recently, I thought it would help to read this manga for some inspiration for drawing and paneling. When comparing part 1 to its 2012 anime adaptation, the differences are very clear, not the story, but more for the art style. Kind of. It's pretty clear that Daewoo Productions meshed parts 1, 2, and 3 to make a more consistent style for the anime, and it definitely works, but I personally prefer the manga's odd mesh of cartoony mouth shapes and extremely buff character designs. Drawing the characters like this was probably Araki's way of hiding how pretty mundane the story is at this very point. It's definitely not a bad thing. It's so out of place, but it stands out in a good way. In all honesty, the panels of JoJo can get really stylish at times, and the artwork itself is really good. Now that Dio is a vamp, I'm sticking around and seeing this shit through. To be honest, inspiration was the second reason why I wanted to read JoJo. My number one reason for picking this series up was because it had served as a main influence for the other series I'm currently reading. And that would be Yu-Gi-Oh! I first heard about Season 0 from a friend of mine years ago. Oh fuck, I'm old. But then I stumbled across Little Karibo's manga review parody, and it got me intrigued. Then fast forward to present day, and only now do I bite the bullet, and I regret sitting on it all this time. Despite how much the manga has kinda already been talked about, I feel like there's still very little appreciation for this series. I'll probably make a separate video on Yu-Gi-Oh, but I'll settle for breaking the ice for now. I don't have a good transition. The art style of Yu-Gi-Oh is oddly so unique, and I'm absolutely here for it. My favorite part about it is the large eyes everyone has, and how they used to outline / accentuate a specific feeling. Obviously, this isn't the first manga to do this, but this was where I first started taking notice of this. Watching the manga slowly mutate into its signature Yu-Gi-Oh style will always be a highlight for me. I can go on, but that's what the separate video was gonna be for. So, to cap off, it's time I contribute to breaking the ice off this specific topic. A couple of years ago, while I was browsing Google, I stumbled upon this little manga adaptation for a video game series I really liked. So, since I've never seen or heard of it before, I decided to buy it. And since then, it has led me to consider my future career options. So what is this series that I stumbled upon? Legend of Zelda. Oh, sorry. The Legend of Zelda. Seriously, if you're a Zelda fan and you've never seen these before, you gotta pick one of them up. Not just cause it's Zelda, but because the art is so fucking awesome. Like, Jesus Christ on us. Imagine you're a kid in Japan playing Ocarina of Time in 1998 thinking,
holy shit, this game looks cool.
And then you read the Ocarina of Time manga 2 years later. Seeing these familiar locations in a completely different medium, that would have been mind-blowing to experience as a Zelda fan way back then. But no, instead, the West decided to localize the manga 8 years later after its release. Like, no wonder this is still a niche topic among the Zelda community. It sucks, cause A. Honda and S. Nagano really need more recognition outside of Japan, because not only are Akira Himekawa two talented artists in their own right, this Zelda serialization provides a solid alternative from the games. Now, I could point out all of them right now, but I strongly recommend you to buy their series. Much like Yu-Gi-Oh, this will need a video in for itself. Just maybe not this one. It's pretty inaccurate. I've only started reading and collecting manga very recently, and I only have a very small collection as of writing this, mainly because I've had to buy all of them online, usually from America. But more recently, I found a store in my local mall that does indeed sell manga, and it's left me wondering, did they add manga to their lineup recently, or have they always had it there and I was just too dumb to even notice? But regardless of this mental dilemma of mine, I'm definitely gonna continue reading manga as time goes on, and it's much more accessible now more than ever. And if you have any manga recommendations, leave them down in the comments. I don't know. They might even be in my backlog already.
Now that I have said it, it must be canon.